Thank you for joining us for this installment of the Consultants Training Institute's Conversations with the Masters series. I'm pleased to be joined by Toby Tatum.
Thank you.
Mr. Tatum.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Been very active and involved in the business appraisal and business valuation community for many, many years.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So thinking back to the beginning, what interested you in the profession that caused you to get involved?
Well, this is my second career. I was 22 years in the restaurant business. Built a family chain of restaurants from one Sizzler restaurant in Santa Rosa to a chain of 6 with 275 employees serving about 1 million meals a year.
Sizzler.
But then I got out of Sizzler business in 1993, and decided I just wanted to go do something else, and had no clue what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So I said, well, I'm going to get my real estate license. And so I got my real estate sales license and did for about 3 or 4 months, the residential thing, and I said, this is awful. I do not want any part of this.
Okay.
And I heard about, business brokerage is a part of the real estate sales profession. So I said, business brokerage. I know business. I bought and sold restaurants. So this is something I know something about, something I like. So I just kind of evolved into the business brokerage part of, I guess, the real estate sales profession, and got my certified business intermediary credential from the International Business Brokers Association. And in the course of doing that, found out about the Institute of Business Appraisers and business appraisal as a profession, which I had no clue at all that there was such a profession as business appraisal. And I'm a kind of a number cruncher sort of guy anyway, so it was like a moth to a flame, and I was in it, and within 1.5 years, I was a certified business appraiser. And so that's how I got into it, and I continue to this day to be both a business broker and a business appraiser, and I write and publish extensively on both subjects.
That's an interesting entrance into the next topic here, is that you're quite published.
Yes.
A number of books.
Yes.
Related to buying a business, selling a business.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your very first one.
My first book was called Anatomy of a Business Purchase Offer, Step-by-Step Procedures for Making a Successful Offer. That started out, none of my books started out as intentionally to write a book to get published. That started out as sort of a training manual that I could give prospective business buyers that came to me in interest of some of the listings I had, to educate them on how to intelligently go about negotiating with me representing the seller. So, and it kind of evolved, one thing led to another, and I sent it into a company called the Business Book Press to see if they'd be interested in publishing it, and they said absolutely. And so the first edition was published in 1998. And the second edition was published in 2007. So it's been out, and it's still being sold, and I still get royalties on that book every year.
So what are some of the techniques that you discuss in that book that are helpful?
Well, I think the thing that I talked about a lot, having a lot of interest in the whole business valuation side of it and the deal structuring. So a lot of it had to do with the techniques of writing the contract and understanding how to put the deal together, how to allocate the assets, how to value the business. I gave a lot of advice on valuing the business. And I didn't give instruction in how to calculate the value, but instruction how important it is for the buyer and the seller to understand, what drives a business's value and negotiate a deal that's fair for both people. So those were some of the focal points of the book that I got into. But it was very much a how-to book.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you entered the profession into the early 90s.
Well, actually, it would be the middle 90s or middle to late 90s. It's 97, I think, something like that.
Around the time when really the profession was starting to boom.
Yeah.
A lot of organizations offering credentials, although the IBA had been around for quite some time up to that point. Yeah. But from then to now, you've obviously seen a lot of growth in the profession. What do you think are some of the most challenging issues appraisers and valuers are dealing with currently?
Well, I mean, we each see this animal from a different perspective. And I think one of my strengths having written a lot for publication and having virtually everything I've written for publication be published, is what the challenge that I see in a lot of other reports that I see of other business appraisers is the quality of the storytelling, the quality of the writing.
Okay.
Is where I see a lot of weakness. You know, I'm not going to sit here and be the world's leading expert on the techniques of the analysis, although I'm pretty good at that. Mm-hmm. But I can say that I see a lot of the reports just lack good report writing skills.
Okay.
My reports are very thorough, very long. My limited scope calculation of value report template is 85 pages, as opposed to most that are in the 12 to 15 page category that I've seen. So, and then in the complete comprehensive valuation reports, where they generally, I see them run in the 40 to 50 pages, mine will run over 100 pages. But I go to great lengths to try and explain things in great detail in layman's terms, in a way that a layman can follow the thought process all the way from the beginning to the end, which is what